Welcome to AquarianRadio.com.
AquarianRadio.com.
Aloha, this is Enki. You know me as Aquarius, and this is our age, the Sata Yuga. Time to celebrate with us. We have programs on all chakra tantra, love styles and relationship choices, counseling strategies and techniques that you can use at home. We have extraterrestrial radio where we deal with alienology, paranormal people, and we have an experiencers network. We have a section called Ancient Aliens, and the programs therein are Enki Speaks, Nimma, the Mother of Humanity, has her program, and we revise ancient anthropology. And most important of all, we have peace paradigms, because this is the age of peace. Harmony and understanding, sympathy and trust abounding. No more falsehoods or derisions. Golden living dreams of visions, mystic crystal revelations, and the mind's true liberation. Aloha, Dr. Sasha Lesson here. I'd like to tell you about our Experiencers Network. Reality is like an elephant. We all grasped different parts of this elephant, but reality is also a holographic entity where we are in everything, every molecule of the universe, and every molecule of the universe is in each of us, but we're each at a different angle. The light of the Creator of all runs through every consciousness. And in this program, we learn how to bring that in, how to deal with the spirits of the departed, how to help demonic attachments look inside and see that they too are of the light, how to channel and how to bring in higher energies, all these things and lots more.
As an experiencer, I explain how you can go from abductee to contactee. Invite contact and begin to participate as a partner in the Galactic Federation of Love and Light. We interview guests, share their stories, connect pieces of the eternal puzzle of life. To register as a guest, go to AquarianRadio.com. To participate and explore, sign up at our website at ExperiencersNetwork.com.
And here are your hosts, Janet and Dr. Sasha Lesson.
Aloha, and welcome to Aquarian Radio. Today's show is Experiencers Network, and the title of today's show is Multiverse Mothership. Today is January 19th, 2013. It's chilly here in Maui. We're broadcasting live from Maui, Hawaii. We too experience winter, but probably not as extreme as where you are. But here it is. I am your host, Janet Kira Lesson. And my co-host is my beloved, wonderful husband, Dr. Sasha Lesson. And I'm going to give him the mic for a few minutes so he can explain to you more about Experiencers Network.
Yeah, well, I want to say something about where this work came from and how I, as a psychotherapist, got involved with it. I was with Stan Groff's training programs doing very, very deep work with people. And I would have all these amazing experiences. And in psychotherapy, you just get what the experiences are and let people express it and take it where they will. But one of the most amazing things that kept happening is that the visions people had of past life experiences, of being a cell undergoing photosynthesis, all kinds of stuff, turns out to be true. And so it's opened me to this whole world of listening to the experiencer's experience and valuing it and treasuring it and really being able to realize that every one of these experiences, even the ones that seem difficult, are all for your growth, for not just for you, because as you grow, you allow the world to grow too. And so that's what this program's all about. It's about letting yourself remember the experiences, and we'll help you with some techniques of how to remember, and then to really go into them and see what lessons they have, And so we're going to start out with Janet, who's been a lifelong experiencer, and if we're going to ask her how she sees this whole series of sharings that we're going to do here, and then an example of one of her direct experiences.
All right. Well, so the first question is, what was that again?
How do you see this series of programs of Experiencers Network?
Well, right now we're documenting the different experiences that I have had, and our hopes are that you out there, listeners, will come forth, those who've had experiences, and go to aquarianradio.com and register as a potential guest, and we will interview you and explore what's happened in your life, your paranormal things. My main focus are paranormal events like ghosts and interdimensionals. These are my personal experiences, and extraterrestrials. And in later life, I've learned how to channel, which I call more like a download. And I've opened hailing frequencies to the Federation and the alien species that are around our planet in space, and then in interdimensional space as well. So that's part of it. And so I hope that you do tell your friends and build up our listening audience here by spreading word of mouth. Is better than anything else. Tell your friends, put it on Facebook, blog it, and hopefully together we can bring down the matrix, the illusion that we are alone here in the universe. Of course we're not. That's absurd. and these beings that have been with us all along, and for some reason we're blocking our interactions with them, or we're not acknowledging it. So I'm acknowledging the extraterrestrial presence here on Earth, and I welcome them to communicate with me. And of course, only beings of goodness, light, love. I don't really want to hang out with dark entities. Thank you.
Okay, so for many people, they have had profound experiences which they forget, or they forget temporarily, or they just don't want to think of. But if they can go back there and actually open themselves up to experiencing the experiences again, mentally and emotionally, they will get some profound messages. And so that's so Janet, your history with extraterrestrials, for example, was repressed. You didn't talk about it to people.
Very true. It was dangerous to talk about it with people, especially back in the 50s and 60s, because they labeled you as insane. This is the days before the information came out about Roswell, and Betty and Barney Hill hadn't yet had their experiences or undergone hypnosis under Bud Hopkins' tutelage, and that information came out. So my experiences basically go back to the crib, and on a previous episode we explored an experience I had that was later in life when I was in my 40s. But for today's show, I'd like to go back to what I called the Multiverse Mothership episode. Did you have something to say?
Let's have it.
All right. Well, first of all, I just want to say we're expecting some electrical work, so if we go down, nobody got us. We'll just come back and continue tomorrow if the electricity goes out.
So Janet, I would suggest that you express this journey in the present and let it unfold before you as you talk into the mic, so you can to some degree get in touch with it visually and emotionally as you relate it. Please close your eyes now.
I will. I just want to say one more thing before I close my eyes, is that when I do relate these stories, I am automatically regressed and in a semi-hypnotic state in order to remember what's happening.
That's right.
And these states of consciousness are so profound. These experiences are just so deep and profound and intimate, and sometimes I do get emotional. I might cry. So I just want to let you know I'm okay. I'm in the hands of an incredible professional. My husband, Dr. Lesson, is a certified hypnotherapist. And so, anyway, with that being said, do you have anything else to say?
Just relax, honey. And how old are you when this is happening?
I'm 4 years old. It's springtime. I live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And the sun, it's just a delightful spring day. The birds are chirping, the daffodils and all the spring flowers are blooming. And I go outside with the intention to pick some flowers called buttercups. They grow wild in the yard. They actually come up through the grasses over underneath this tree. And my intention is to express love for my mother. And I go outside, and the sun is pretty much high noon. It's so I'm not sure the time, but it's right above me. It's at its height. The day's at its height, but it's not hot. And so I picked this little bundle of posies, and they're all yellow, and I organize them in my hand. And even at that age, I'm a neatnik, so I make sure they're all the same height, and I put them in my hands so they're all the same height. And then down below the stems, I pick them off so they're pretty even. And I've got them in my hands, and I'm going to go take them into my mommy. So I'm taking these into my mommy, and I have to go over this little fence she has erected so that the kids don't walk through the yard and make a path. So it's just a special part of the property that's fenced off for me, but it's just a low fence. I'm only 4, so it's a little white metal kind of loops, just to indicate don't go there. So I step over it. I raise my little foot way up high because I'm short and little and 4 years old. And I'm suddenly on board a ship, the Mothership. And I'm no longer 4. I'm my eternal self. I'm who I am in my full awareness of my role in the universe. I'm still embodied in this little 4-year-old body, and yet I'm welcomed back. It's a return. And so they escort me to this theater room. That's the best way to describe it. And in my life, in my incarnation as Janet.
Who escorts you?
I can't quite see them. It's an awareness, or I just go there. Everything's telepathic. So I don't necessarily see the beings in a corporeal form at this encounter, because this is a return, and I know to go to this room. So I'm going to this room where the theater is, and they're communicating to me telepathically. And they may not even have physical form. They may be more light beings that kind of are... There's a presence and awareness, and I can feel them energetically. They're larger than life energetically. But I'm realizing as I'm being regressed right now that they don't need physical form. So these are very high evolved beings, and they can if they choose. But they don't need it with me because I'm returning. So there's actually, for this experience on this ship, there's a theater. And as a little girl, Janet, I've not yet been into a theater yet. I'm 4. And my mother and father, I wasn't old enough to go to the show yet. So they hadn't taken me to a theater yet. So I'd never seen one. And I realize as I'm saying this that after seeing this theater, I asked to go to the movies. It was like my first experience. It was very shocking. And so I sat basically front row center, and the screen was the appropriate length away so I could see it clearly. It was a curved screen. It seemed to be in the wall. And as I sat down, the lights went down, very dim, so that you could see the image on the screen there. And the lights weren't any kind of fixtures. It was like the walls themselves were illuminated, and it was all just automatic, based on some kind of response. Me sitting there. The first scene I see is a side view of the Earth, and there are 3 beams coming into the center of the Earth. It's like the Earth is cut in half, so I can see what's going on, and it blows up into smithereens. And then that image fades with the final explosion, and particles of the Earth kind of rushing. It's one of those 3D experiences, right? So I'm really immersed in this this holographic image, which appeared to be a screen, but now it's just coming at me. And there's another image of the Earth, and it's whole, but I can see. It's almost like I can see the molecular level as well as the whole picture simultaneously. And there's a lot of destruction, most destruction, but I can see that there's still life. And that scene fades. And there's another picture of the Earth. And in this one, there's more life and less destruction. And the scenes keep fading in and out, and they get progressively better. More life, less destruction, and there's some variations in the different themes, and about 20 to 30 images slowly fade and come back up before me, and they're very three-dimensional, and so it's almost like I'm in there as well as seeing it from afar simultaneously. I can't even explain the situation. It's way beyond like what's humanly possible, and it's all senses. I can feel it. I can smell it. It's it's on my skin.
Wow.
So it's a full sensual type of experience. And so at the end, it's all these beautiful scenes, and it's many variations of the Earth and its potential. And I noticed while they're coming in and out of view for me, there was a couple that were my favorites, but then there was one that stood out. And it's like when I got to that point where the one just really touched me to the core of my being, it's like my heart soared when I saw this image.
What was the image?
It's beyond just describing with words, but it's like if you would imagine heaven, right? Heaven on earth, and beautiful flowers and abundance of animals and everything pristine and healthy and happy, and a mixture of all the species that was in harmony and balance. So I saw this balanced vision. There was intense beauty of the Earth, and the lights went completely down in the room, and then they faded to like a candlelight. It was very pleasant. And this telepathic communication voice, and it was you're going to say male or female, it was neutral. Said, which universe do you choose?
Which universe?
Yeah, which multiverse, which universe? I'm so confused. I think they were saying universe you choose, but yeah. So anyway, I said the one. I didn't have to say it. I just showed it in my mind, the one. And so that was the choice. And there was an awareness.
The utopian one.
The utopian one. There was the awareness that I was choosing for all of humanity. And as soon as I made that decision, I was back on Earth again. And there I was. My foot was still raised, going over the little fence. And so I lowered my foot. And I had this pure sense of awe. And my heart soared with this divine love, and as if in some kind of response, there was this incredible sunset. So it was high noon, and now there's this sunset, and I'm still in the awareness of my eternal being. When I get one more final communication, and I get this. It's almost biblical speak, like you have come here to do something which will benefit all of humankind. And so I had an awareness of my importance and my role in the universe, and I felt so satisfied that I was worthy, that I had worth, that I had a mission, that I had a goal and a reason to be alive in this physical form. And as I kind of faded back into my human incarnation as Janet, I also retained an awareness that it would not be appropriate or it would do some kind of harm to my mother and her emotional state, and my father and my family, to go and talk about this experience. So there I was, 4 years old, and I kept it to myself. But the thing that I did do was I asked my mother to let me go to Sunday school, and I told my mother, this wasn't that day, this was days later, and I said that, and I was back in my 4-year-old self, and I was talking through my baby talk, and I said, Mommy, I'd like to go to church to talk to God, because I saw them all the older ones going off to church, and I was still in like this nursery school, and I said, I want to go to Sunday school. I want to talk to God. I want to learn about God and talk to God. And she said to me that, no, it's impossible. You're too young. They won't let you in until you're 5. And so I left. But then it's like I had further communication, and I went back to her. I think it was like the next day. I said, no, Mommy, if you talk to them and ask them to let me in, they will let you. They will let me in. So she did, and she came back. She was very surprised. She goes, yes, they're going to let you in. So I got to go talk to God. Of course, it didn't take long when I realized that wasn't God there. But it was a pleasant experience. And then the other thing that I remembered was the movie theater. And so I went to see... my first movie I saw was actually in a theater that's been long gone, and it was Hercules. And looking back at it now, it's like my first movie was this Hercules one, which is one of the gods. So that's what happened. Do you have any questions?
One of the things is if this was an experience to guide you at every level of your consciousness, how does this experience resonate in your life now, and how can you apply what you learned, such beautiful things, to your current existence and to the life of people on the planet nowadays?
Well, part of me never forgot. And I mean, I never did forget this. I put it like in the back burner because I couldn't talk about it. And I remember when I finally started talking about my UFO experiences, I shared that with my brother. Probably it was 1991, 89, 1991. I remember I finally shared it with him in a phone conversation. And he just accepted it like matter of fact. And so I guess the most important thing about this experience that never left me is that I always knew that we're going to come to a time of utopia. And as you can see right now, this is not utopia for most of humanity. 99% are in some kind of corporate economic slave type situation. 1% control all the resources and money and power. However, I know, having part of me that's continually connected to this other species, other civilization. There's part of me that is like a thread that is always connected to this civilization, that there are other ways of being. And so I, grow impatient many days in my ego Janet self, but this higher awareness knows it will happen in due time, and the time is upon us quite soon, for the overlay of this consciousness that respects all life, respects consciousness, and allows each person to live in peace with love and dignity and beauty and grace. and to have all their basic needs met of clean water and fresh air and unpolluted soil and education that isn't dogma and propaganda, true information that will benefit the individual, and a comfortable living space, a home, somewhere where you can experience and express yourself, and what's called right livelihood, where you can do what you would feel moved to do, that would be creative and supportive of your visions of how you want to contribute, and creating a society which would, meet the needs of the people, and consciously conceiving and giving birth to children and raising them consciously. So this time is upon us, and we'll be here soon. And I know soon is like what's that? And so, just like the Bible, we cannot tell the day when it will happen, but I think something major will happen in 2013. I hope I'm not, she was wrong and she's wrong about everything. Reality is so confusing and complex and complicated for many people because it involves so many variables, because it's not just one person. If it was me, it would have happened yesterday. But it's society being ready for this. It's, if you build it, they will come, and putting out the vibration for this to happen. So I invite you all out there to, wrap your head around this, at least, for a minute each day. And the more we grow, the time that we wrap our heads around another paradigm that actually honors every individual and honors the life on this planet and Mother Gaia herself, the sooner that we pull that into physical manifestation and create true heaven on earth. So I think it's about all I want to say for today. I know we're going to get cut off in 3 minutes here, so do you have any final words? Okay, so just say aloha.
Aloha.
Aloha, love, and blessings from Maui, Hawaii. Join us again tomorrow or the next day or whenever you can on AquarianRadio.com. Thanks for joining us today on Aquarian Radio. We broadcast daily, and our schedule's on AquarianRadio.com. Listen live by calling 646-649-0893, or you can listen live by calling 646-649-0893, or listen to our archives on AquarianRadio.com. Join us again soon, and do tell your friends the age of Aquarius and the paradigm of peace is now.
Aloha. This is Enki. You know me as Aquarius. And this is our age, the Sata Yuga. Time to celebrate with us. We have programs on all chakra tantra, love styles and relationship choices, counseling strategies and techniques that you can use at home. We have extraterrestrial radio where we deal with alienology, paranormal people, and we have an experiencers network. We have a section called Ancient Aliens, and the programs therein are Enki Speaks, Nimma, the Mother of Humanity, has her program, and we revise ancient anthropology. And most important of all, we have peace paradigms, because this is the age of peace, harmony and understanding, sympathy and love abound. No more falsehoods or derisions, mystic crystal dreams and visions.
And this has been another episode here at AquarianRadio.com.
AquarianRadio.com.